What's up, guys? Well, little bit of a change of pace at the moment. For those of you that have actually watched my update videos, you know we had a small tub, and sitting along here, we try not to fall over or anything. We had a Suzuki Samurai chassis engine drivetrain, basically. Now, I mentioned a while back that just get out of this wind a moment. I mentioned a while back that we were thinking about putting the Jeep tub and everything onto this frame, and basically just making a wartime Jeep clone. Now, interesting bit of news. Have had somebody contact us and ask if we could actually do that for them. They are interested in, they want a wartime Jeep. They cannot afford the 18 to 20 grand that they are fetching now, so this is going to be the next best thing. Therefore, in the next few days, we actually are going to a show this weekend at a swap meet in Autodrome. Let me try and get out of this one. Okay, that might be a bit better. Yeah, we're going to a swap meet this weekend, so I'm going to get the points, leads, everything we need to get this engine fired up. And yeah, this is the beginning of it, the next project. So over the coming weeks, it's very simple basically. It's going to get the engine running, strip the frame off, clean it up. We've got a different axle to go on the front. It's one that matches the rear axle. I don't know if I even mentioned this at some point in some previous video, but when this chassis came to us, it didn't have a back axle, but we have got the front and rear axles off the later Samurai. I forget all the designations for them now. Doesn't matter, but basically they will bolt straight up to these springs. They are just a slightly different width and I think a different gear ratio. So we'll put the front axle on to match the rear. The other thing will be is to switch the steering over. This obviously being a UK spec vehicle, the steering is on the right hand side, so we are going to flip the steering box over and mount it on the left. I have tracked down how to do this. I've spoken to a couple of people that have already done this, so it's quite a straightforward swap. Make it left-hand drive and turn it into a World War II Jeep. Now, for the purists out there, I know this is not a real Jeep, and we know that it will be registered still as a Suzuki and everything that entails. We're not trying to fool anybody. This is just a case of somebody would like a Jeep, this is what they can afford, and we're happy to build it for them. Question on my mind though is, what are we going to call this project? Suzuki? Cue the titles. So there we have it. Next time you see me, I will be here with a battery, some leads, and trying to fire this thing up. I think what we'll do is though, I know this engine spins over, but I know the dynamo, the alternator, is seized. So I'll probably get rid of that alternator, have to track down a new alternator. Little bits and pieces. We will also dress the engine so it has a vintage feel to it rather than a modern. Are these overhead cam? I don't know. I don't know about these engines. Don't know much about them, in all honesty. But I'm going to find out. So yeah, I've got a new clutch and everything all ready to go into this. So that'll all be done. Obviously with all the fluids and everything, it desperately needs brake lines and all the brakes doing and everything. So I mean, it is another ground up build. What am I letting myself in for? I think I'm supposed to be taking a break and relaxing, and it's like one project straight into another. Anyway, that's enough of me rabbiting. Yeah, that's introduction to the video. Oh, and if you're wondering, these have exactly the same wheelbase as the wartime Willys and Ford GPW Jeeps. What's up, guys? Well, it's a nice morning, the birds are singing, and it's a very rare occasion today. I've actually got some spare time. Yeah, projects are just about complete. Waiting for a few things, so here we are, walking. But walking towards something in particular. That's right, this video I am gonna try and get this to start. I think the first thing is to actually drag it out of the weeds, but or at least move it forward into that flatter section there. But yeah, we're going to try and get this running. Well, maybe not running as such, but I need to see if there's I can at least get it to fire and there's no knocks, bangs or anything like that, and then we can figure the rest of this project out from there. Well, got it pulled forward a little bit there. Brought a few tools over, a little bit of gasoline in a jug, and yeah, grabbed a battery, obviously a small one. Don't want to don't want to overkill. So I think what the first thing I'm going to do is, I know this engine turns over. I don't know if you recall last year, I was spinning it over by hand. Did I videotape that? I don't remember if I videoed that or not, but I popped the plugs out, put some ATF down the cylinders, let it sit overnight, then came out the next morning and it was spinning freely by hand. So I am going to double check it again, but first things first, I think I'm going to take the plugs out, get a wrench on that crankshaft and just see if I can get it to turn a little, then we'll take it from there. So a couple of things straight off the belt. So a couple of things straight away. Water pump spins freely, but alternator is seized solid. But anyway, let's get a bolt on this crankshaft and do I have a socket small enough? Probably not. Oh, I do. Perfect. So let's just see if we can get anything on here to begin with. Oh yeah. Yeah, that turns nicely. Ah, it spins freely, that. Excellent, that's a very good feeling, that. So, I think the next thing is, let's just get a battery hooked up and we'll just whirl it over. Now, one thing I have noticed, do seem to be missing a dipstick, so what I might do is just bring just a little bit extra oil just to drop it in there, just to be sure. I mean, it should have oil in it, it hasn't done anything, but it's basically just sat since the day it was in an accident. However, yeah, let's just grab some, just anything will do, just to put it in, just to keep everything lubricated. But no, definitely not seeing a dipstick on it anywhere. Anyway, let me get some oil and we'll get that in and then we'll take it from there. Well, speaking of dipsticks, it was right there in the front of the engine, but as you can see, that is bone dry. So yeah, let's get some oil into there before I do anything else. Yeah, that's right, I'm interrupting this video so I can plug my merch store. Obviously you're going to find all the usual stuff: mugs, shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, you name it. Everything is designed by myself, so it does kind of reflect my own taste, but hopefully you will find something there that you like. Now, this is a print-on-demand store, which means I don't actually carry stock myself, and I've done this for a couple of reasons. One, I really don't have storage, but the main reason is it allows me to offer items in North America and in Europe. So for example, if you buy this in the UK, it will be printed within Europe and you will just pay local shipping. Same goes for United States and Canada. Anyway, that's enough of me plugging my stuff. Go and take a look, you never know, you might find something you like. Anyway, let's get back to the video. Well, it's over the minimum now, so I'll put this away, put the oil away, and then yeah, we'll get a battery hooked up and just see if we can roll this over. What I'd like to do is, I wish I had an oil pressure gauge, a mechanical one, I don't though, just to see if we could build some oil pressure up on it, but well, we'll spin it over to begin with, see what happens. Oh, a simple setup here. Long battery cable, obviously, and then just a jumper cable to the ground on the frame. So if we just touch that to nothing. Okay. See if we can, oh wait a minute, I've just spotted something. Engine ground. Yeah, we're not going to get anywhere. Let me connect that up. Okay, now engine ground connected up. See if we can get anything out of the starter motor. Well, isn't that a good sign? Got a little bit of a gallop on one cylinder, but that I expected. This engine has not run since, what was it, 1998, I think it was, when it was in the accident. And it's basically, it's sat as a project ever since then. So, but that is very encouraging, that. At least we know the engine spins over fine, starter works. So, I think the next thing I'm going to break the top of that carb open. Then going to go find an ignition coil. Just basically work our way through it. That carb though is pretty much seized solid, so I'm not expecting it to actually get up and run through that carb, but I think what I'll do is I'll probably just take it off for now, so I can just put some gas straight into the intake manifold. Nah, maybe not. I'll see. I'll just play it by ear, but next thing I need to do is basically find an ignition system for it. So I know I do need one plug wire because I stole that for something else last year. Coilers on one of the Jeeps, and so is the coil lead. So I've got to find all of that stuff. So yeah, let's just have a look around, see what we can find. Did find another plug wire. Actually, it is the original one off this engine. I remembered what I'd done with it after I'd been messing about. Got a coil wire. Well, got a coil wire. All I've got to do now is find a coil. Most of everything around here is diesel, or it's newer and it has ignition packs. So, yeah, finding a 12-volt coil. Actually, I wonder if there's one in there. Let's go and have a look. Because this had apparently had an old Ford Pinto engine in it at some point. So let's take a look, see if we've got anything under here. Oh, that's obviously watertight. Yeah, looks like we've got an ignition box and everything there. Let me just get a better grip on the camera. I don't want to drop it in that water because it's not IP rated. I'm not seeing anything under there, that's a shame. Ah, it's so aromatic in here. I wish you could smell it for yourself and appreciate it. Oh, there's a good battery box there. No, I'm not seeing anything. I mean, it could be under that water there somewhere for all I know. We've got a lot of cables disappearing into there. For sale, one speedboat, one careful owner, watertight, needs a little work. No, there's nothing in there, is there? That was worth looking. Anyway, let's move on. Of course, I'll get my belly in some water so now my shirt's all wet. Ah, whatever. Just trying to think, there's got to be something else around here. Got a 12-volt coil on it that I can, you know, procure. Tractor's diesel, obviously truck's diesel. Yeah, tell you what, let me clean these points up and at the very least see if we can get a spark there, and then I'll have a look around, see if maybe Andy will be out and about by then, so maybe he knows where there's one stashed away somewhere. But yeah, let's just concentrate on that for the moment. Houston, we have a problem. So, I was under the impression that this, given its age, would have contact breakers, points, and it doesn't. Has a magnetic pickup, and I know that if there was a module attached to it, it's not here any longer, because the body on this was cut up, oh god, 2-3 years ago. Yeah, I had assumed it would have been points, because a buddy of mine had one of these, oh god, many years ago, and it was actually a little bit newer than this one, and it still had the conventional contact breakers, so I just assumed this would be the same, but it's not. Huh. This is really, yeah, talk about a fly in your soup. Yeah, this is a 50-pound mother humper. Okay, so I think what I'm going to have to do is go online, see if I can find a wiring diagram, just see how this was actually wired up to the module, and see if there's I can come up with another solution. I mean, it's a very basic system. It literally just triggers the... Wait a minute. Did somebody in it? Somebody recently has said to me they have a aftermarket control module, and it's basically a generic one. It'll fit on anything with points. I might have to have a chat with him. I know he's away this weekend. It's Saturday today, and there's a big steam festival on, and I know he's at that until next week. So yeah, I'll have to have a chat with him about that. So, a couple of cups of coffee and a bit of digging online reveals that this may actually just ignite the coil. Well, fire the coil without an igniter or without the ECM. So basically, this goes directly to the positive of the coil, and the black and brown, or brown as it is there, goes to the negative side of the coil. Interesting. So all we've got to do is find a coil and probably extend these cables as well. Exciting times. We have a problem. We are losing oil somewhere. I'm not entirely sure where, but we are losing oil. Let's have a look down the other side. Ow! Ah. Of course I find the sharpest thing to knee. I'm not seeing it anywhere down there, but it is definitely coming out of somewhere. Great. Let me put the camera down, let me take a good look, see what I can find. Well, this video has come to an abrupt halt. Feeling around the bottom of the oil pan, it's got a gash in it, and you just can't see it when it's sitting on its wheels like this. But when you get your hand under, I think what's happened is when this has been in the crash, it's probably, maybe the axle has come up high enough just to strike the oil pan, and it's just put a nice split in it. And yeah, so obviously it's not going to hold oil. So this is, yeah, I mean, this is not something we can just go down to a parts store and pick up an oil pan for this. This is going to take some online searching. Yeah. The only other thing I can think of is maybe we could, if I can get some JB Weld. It won't happen today though. Maybe I can actually seal the hole up. Now this, before you panic, this is not going to be temporary. This is not going to be permanent. It will be just a temporary fix so that we can actually get the engine up and running, start it, and just see if it's gonna run. But right now we are dead in the water, literally. So yeah. Yeah. Well, here I am the next morning, walking the walk. Right. Well, we have an ignition coil and we have a T-SIF, but it has been raining all night long, and I have a feeling this is just going to be way too wet. Yeah, I can see it from here, the sun is just soaked. Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping to get that patched up today. All we're going to do for the time being is just, I've got some good quality adhesive. I'm just going to basically bond a plate over the hole in the oil pan, and just so that we can get this engine started. Especially now that I know it most likely happened when the vehicle was in an accident. So we've got to assume that for at least a moment or two this engine ran with next to no oil in it. Now, most of the time that's not an issue, but what we really want to make sure before we go out and drop $100 on an oil pan is there any bearing noise, you know the basic stuff. We need to make sure this engine's in good condition before we proceed with the project, because that would add a whole different dimension to it. I just thought of something. Yeah, complete tangent here, but one of the Ford DIs, the 4-cylinder banana engine like what's in the Transit, that with its 5-speed box would fit in there quite nicely. Oh, I know, it's stupid, but these things do cross your mind. You'd have to upgrade the front springs, but it would definitely fit in there. Yeah, a diesel Jeep. If this was my project, I would probably do something like that. Get rid of the little, what size is that, 1.3, and just put a diesel in with a 5-speed box. It'd probably have more power, certainly have more torque, that's for sure. But it's not, so we won't. Anyway, let's get back to this. Yeah, I'm just, what I'm going to do today, I'm just going to leave it for now. It needs to dry. I'm here for another week. And yeah, we just need to get this, you just need to get it dry, bonded. It won't take long to throw the coil on, and yeah, we'll take it from there. Well, here we are again, walking over here. I just gave up yesterday. It was just one of those days, sunshine, rain, sunshine, rain, sunshine, rain. And so I've left this until this morning. But we have some sealer. I have made a bracket. He's sitting over here. So basically all I'm going to do for the time being is I'm just going to bond that to the oil pan and just seal it all up. Like I said, this is just a temporary solution. All I want to do is I want to find out if this engine runs without any knocks or bangs or anything like that. So yeah, this is what I'm going to do, and I'll get this stuck on there and take it from there. Okay, I don't know if you can see down there, but that's it all sealed up. So got to leave this, I think it's 4 hours. So we will come back to this later and see what happens. Well, we're back at it again. I've put some oil in. It's not as bad as it was, but I've just slid a tray under there for now to catch what's coming out. But I'm going to do the ignition system. We'll get some fuel down the carb and see if she'll spark off. So yeah. So I fabricobbled this makeshift ignition system. Now then, from what I've found online, the basic wiring for this is positive and negative come off the distributor, go to the coil, and positive and negative from the coil go to battery and ground. I'm not sure, but yeah, that's basically the general consensus. You know, I found 3 different sources now have all said the same thing. So theoretically that should work. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put a couple of these on, just stick them on the plugs just so that we can actually see if there is a spark, and yeah, we'll try it from there. Well, just I'm not getting anything off that. I'm just let's just double check all these leads, make sure they are properly connected. Okay, let's give this a go. I've basically just connected the coil straight to that number 1 plug. Is that number 1? Number 4, at the back of the engine. So, anyway, at the very least we should hopefully see a spark. Nothing. Just a moment. Let's just try the coil on its own. Pull this apart. Yeah, there we go. Come apart. There we go. Yeah, we are getting a little spark there. I don't know if you can see that. Well, I was a bit skeptical, but I thought, you know what, I don't know really anything about these ignition systems. Oh, I wish I just had a distributor with points. That would make life so much easier. Well, I've had a bit play around with different wiring combinations and nothing. So, at the moment I don't know what to do other than head back online. I am going to see if I can find a couple of Facebook groups or something like that, and see if I can find any information on there. Otherwise, right at this moment, this project is dead in the water. Yeah. Well, I mean, this isn't the end of this. This isn't going to be a one-shot video. We do have Newark Auto Jumble coming up in almost about 10 days time, give or take. So obviously I'm going to be scouting around there to see if we can pick anything up there. Let's just stop there for a moment because my phone's making a noise. Anyway, yeah, we've got a new auto jumble coming up, so I am going to take a look there, just see if we can come up with anything. So I think I'm going to end this video right here. I will give you an update on what's happening. Obviously I would like to figure this out, but yeah, without a because this project is constrained by, has financial constraints, we don't want to start throwing parts at this because we don't know if this engine is actually a good one or not. I mean, it sounds okay on the starter motor, but until you actually get it fired up and get some oil pressure there, you know, you just don't know. So yeah, yeah, not the best of endings, I know, but that is how it goes sometimes. I mean, if this was a Ford or anything like that, you know, I'd be falling over parts for this. In fact, I've got Ford bits that I could have stuck on, but it's not. It's Suzuki, and this, you know, we've got to order new online. I mean, I've been looking around to see if I can find any second-hand stuff like an oil pan, and there just doesn't seem to be much of anything out there, at least not locally anyway. So anyway, disappointing ending. Yeah, not a lot to say. So take care, come back and see me sometime, and have a good one.